is the first class. Um, and this training is going to span at least 3 months. It's important that at least we give a word of encouragement, word of motivation. This hopefully will keep you going on this journey. So when it comes to QA generally or engineering, there is this grit I want my students to show. Um, we call it consistency. We call it persistence. We call it um, always showing up. So when it comes to grit in engineering, even when it is not easy for you to pick it up, to find time to learn, to create extra time to ask questions, though these things are not convenient, you still have to be intentional and try as much as possible to make sure that you put in effort personally on your own, right? I told some categories of people sometimes ago that in QA there are stupid questions, but in development there are no stupid questions. Obviously, some of them were scared because of that statement and they decided not to ask questions, right? Yeah, generally, of course, it's a general statement. When you're a QA engineer, you're expected to ask all sort of questions, whether they are right or wrong and all of that. Why? Because it is important to know about the system you are building and about the general quality rules and all of that. But when it comes to development, we expect that the question you are asking, somebody else has done it before, has implemented it before, and all you just need to do is just search, ask, and you will get the solution. So if you have put in your what do I call it now? You're done your homework by checking the facts first, then it will next time you will there will be little effort you put into it next time. And also it will be very difficult for you to forget because you remember how much of an effort you put into it and made you understand, and then it will be difficult to forget. So that's why it's always important to make sure that you put in effort on your own hand. So that's the encouragement I'm giving us today as we dive into this program. Before I continue, apologies for last week. I was not just there. In terms of health, I was not too okay. So we had to cancel, but we canceled at a very short notice. Obviously, I was thinking we will still be able to do it no matter what, but it didn't happen. It was just too short notice. So yeah, we'll be starting now. So according to the curriculum we discussed the last time on the onboarding in the onboarding meeting, someone's already raising hand. We have not started though. Okay, you can ask your question. Majesty. I said you guys should update your names. Are you actually Majesty?
Yes, please. Good
Oh,
evening. Good evening, Mr.
yeah, good
Sebi.
evening.
Yes, please. I actually sent you a message in the in chat in an in chat message though. So I'm just coming back from the burial. So I'm seeking your permission to rest my head. But I'm just coming back and I'm exhausted. So if I can join you guys tomorrow for tomorrow class. I'm scared.
It's fine so far you are able to have access to the videos and come up fast. As one thing is, even if you are missing a class, if you are able to review before the next class, then you can. But this knowledge, they are very subtle. You need to review them. You need to practice a lot sometimes, not to forget. So when you are learning a new thing, is actually always required that you do a lot of practicing on your own so that you don't easily forget it, right? So that will just be a general rule I'll give us in this class. Try to practice if you miss a class, if you miss an assignment, miss something, you're not getting it well, try to, as much as possible, find time to sit down with it and meet up. By the time you are having a 2 class, 3 class gap in your knowledge acquisition, it will affect your general understanding of the subject. So it's better to quickly just bridge the gap. Don't let the space widen so that it does not affect your progress. All right. Thank you. Majesty, you can put down your hands now. We'll go straight into what we have for today and generally for this week. So we say Java and test automation essentials. So because we are learning test automation with Selenium Java, there's also a need for us to brush up on Java. We mentioned this the last time, so hopefully some of us has looked into the Java programming language itself. Yeah, I'm hoping that that was the essence of the onboarding call, right? Look into the language, see what you can learn. I know some of us here already have a background in this and you're doing stuffs in it. So we won't take so much time um, with learning Java. So just as an update, we won't take so much time. But of course, there will be what's the name now? There will be 1 or 2 classes like today, tomorrow, and maybe one other class next week where we handle just Java on its own. Then after that, we'll continue with Selenium and the rest. All right, I will progress with my slide here. What is the agenda? What is software testing? So we made sure that the people we have here on board are those that have a foundation in software testing and at least a year in software testing because it is a real big issue if you do not really understand what software testing is or if you don't have hands-on experience with software testing. Trust me, I have met people like this that they started off with automation testing and at the end of the day, they are bottlenecks even in their team because it is difficult for them to just grasp and understand test scenarios, test cases, and then be able to translate that into the codes that they are writing. So it's not just about you just writing some bunch of code somewhere. It's about you understanding the concept of what was software testing. So we are looking at what is software testing, manual testing versus automation testing, benefit of test automation, introduction to Selenium and its components, setting up Java, IntelliJ, and Maven, Java basics, variables, data types, operators, Java control statements, if-else loops, methods and functions in Java, and then Q&A. All right, so this is a bunch of a lot in just one class. But of course, we'll also be spreading our knowledge into tomorrow. So this is for this week, not just the first lesson. Okay, so let's move on. What is software testing? As you are all familiar with this important concepts, for those that are working already, I mean, you have a job or you have a side also in QA or something, and you're already into software testing. By now, you understand that it is a process of evaluating system and its component to check whether it meets what specified requirement, business requirement, user requirement, technical requirement, every kind of what requirement. And the purpose is to ensure software works as expected, to identify and resolve defects early to deliver high quality product to users. Now, we talk about verification and validation, right? Verification says, are we building the product right? Validation says, are we building the right product? And usually we make use of this concept in automation also. We have talked about this verification, okay, maybe not this class. Verification and validation, usually in manual testing, People always focus more on verification because they just want to be sure that they are building the product right. But that is not the only thing that should be put into perspective. Validation should also be put into perspective. Are we building the right product? Right? Are we building the right product? And this entirely is included in automation, validation processes. Now, we have types of automation. I mean, of testing, manual testing, automation testing. Trust me, each of these categories are also spread into different categories. But for now, we just say category A, manual testing, category B, automation testing. And each of these things are testing. They are not just coding. They are what? Testing. When you say automation testing, you're actually testing. When you say manual testing, you're actually testing. So that's the mindset I want us to have here. And that is what it is. Okay, so manual testing versus automation testing. We already know, but just to brush up on this concept, I will buttress this that when you are doing manual testing, you are not making use of any tool. You are just carrying out your test ad hoc, right? You are exploring, you are slow, you are checking requirements one after the other, you are putting in human effort, right? You are doing an initial setup and all of that. That is manual. But when it comes to automation, you are making use of scripts and tools. Why? Because you want it faster, you want it effective, right? And then you actually automate because these tasks are what? Are repetitive. You automate an application that is stable. When an application is stable, it means that it can be regressive, right? So that is where the regression concept comes into play. Because regression is talking about features that were working before, and now because something has been fixed, they are no longer working. Because they are no longer working, they have been regressive. That is, they have gone back to their previous fault. Now that I've got to well, you need to run some tests to check and be I'm sure that now they are functioning as what as expected. Now, these kind of systems have a kind of stable conditions, right? They have stable conditions. And because you repetitively make use of those test cases, they are very important for business. And in fact, they might take more time to do what to execute. You decide to do what to automate them. By automating them, you make the business process fast. You make your own tasking fast, right? By saving time, you're also saving money. All right. So we say fast and efficient for large projects, reduces chances of human error, requires an initial investment in tools and codes. Right. So that is what manual test and version. Honestly, like I said before, both are testing. Okay. So meaning that you cannot escape testing. You cannot escape the work QA in what? In automation. Let's continue. We have benefit of test automation reduces testing time for repetitive tasks. We have said it before. Increases consistency and reliability, enables continuous testing in CI/CD pipeline, improves test coverage, saves cost in long run, frees testers for exploratory and creative testing, boosting productivity, speed of delivery. And then we have automation does not replace testers, it empowers them. I've said it again. I will say it again. Automation is not replacing testers. It's not replacing the effort or the technique you put into testing. No, it is not replacing it because testing itself has its own technique. So it is actually testing. It is actually what will I call it? A QA process. But this time around, you are saving cost, you're saving time, and you're making it more efficient. All right. Introduction to Selenium and its components. So we said this course has to do with test automation with Java Selenium. So we've been talking about software testing now. Let's talk about Selenium. So someone asked a question during the onboarding, why Selenium? Why not Cypress or any other automation tool? So we have a lot of automation tool in the market today, and every one of these tools have their own advantages and disadvantages. And depending on the kind of application you want to automate, you choose the tools to use. And for organizations or companies that already have their own setup, you just go with what you have on ground, right? But for those that are just looking into automation and all of that, when you are making your decision on which tools to use, you have to consider the kind of application that is being used and the expectation, business expectation. All right. So with that, this will enable you to do what to hold on, let me see. Okay. So this will enable you make up your mind on which tool to use. So Selenium, for example, is common. Yeah, it's popular. When they say it's common, it's not just because of since when it has been existing. No, it's common because a lot of organizations are making use of it as their automation framework. So we say it is common, it is popular, it is open source, it has open source support, right? It has its own community built around it, and it's very easy to manipulate. So why Selenium? It supports multiple browsers compatible with various programming languages. Am I audible? Is there anyone that is not hearing me?
You're audible enough. I
Okay,
can hear
okay,
you.
okay. So we say maybe someone is waiting to be admitted. Let me check. Looks like do we have people that are waiting to be admitted in here on the call? Okay, there are 8. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess that's why I've been getting calls from Fermi. Okay, guys, try not to be late next time. Um, one rule for this class, I will say again. eh, are you seeing my screen? Is it being shared?
Yes, we are seeing it on I think we are yet to like
Okay,
it covers.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Thank you. So, guys, please try to keep to time because we have so much to do within a short time. We'll only give us a grace of 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, we'll start the class. So let's try to keep to time. And we don't want to also exceed the time. We all have things we are doing and all of that. Okay, so I was talking about Selenium, how that it supports multiple browsers, Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and when you are testing applications for their browser compatibility, you don't have to like what's the name, be fixated on only Chrome. You have to check other browsers because your customers, your users will choose any browser they like, for their application. So at the end of the day, you need to be able to test your applications on different browsers, right? And its compatibility with different languages in that if you are the type that write Java, it's very easy for you to flow with this. If it is Python you're working on, it's very easy for you to flow with this. So it supports different programming languages. It integrates with tools like Maven, Jenkins, TestNG. Maven helps you in building your dependencies and your framework, and Jenkins with CI/CD, and then TestNG with test-driven development. So this easily integrates with all of these tools. Selenium integrate with all of these tools. Now we have components of Selenium, the WebDriver. In case you have been mixing them up, there is the WebDriver, there is the IDE, and there is the grid. Okay. Now talking about the WebDriver as we go into this training, you will be able to differentiate what the WebDriver is, what the ID. The ID, some of us are already familiar with. The one that you would just add as an add-on to your maybe Chrome browser or something, or Firefox browser, and then you can record and play back. So this one is, I think, is popular, right? And then we have the WebDriver. This one is the core automation engine that drives your web application. And then we have the Selenium grid that helps the remote WebDriver to do what? To run tests in parallel, to run multiple tests in parallel. All right. So we have all of these important points for Selenium. So who does not want to go with Selenium with all of these important points? So parallel testing, um, browser support, and then programming language support, and in fact, open source. Okay, so let's see the next slide. Prerequisites, Java JDK, Java 17. Well, so I will recommend Java 17. Have it installed on your system. In case you don't know how to set up your Java, I'm hoping we have all set it up. Please let me take a statistic in this slide. I don't have Java installed on my system yet. Can you raise your hand? I don't have Java JDK installed on my laptop system. I don't know anything called system variable. I've not set up Java home on my laptop. Can I see your hands raised? So maybe we have to be talking about how you will download Java. Okay, imagine we actually have somebody. Okay, okay, so downloading Java JDK, um, installing it, setting it as what's the name now? Okay, this is a Mac system. Okay, let's take another statistics. I am using Mac OS. Let's raise our hand. After that, we'll take a statistics of I am using Windows OS. If you are using Mac OS, can I see your hands? Mac operating system. Your hands? Okay. I am using Windows. Ah, yeah, father. Okay. Okay, so I have a Windows system, but it's a company laptop. So I'm trying as much as possible to avoid and to preserve privacy because of this training. And this training is going to take 3 months. I'm not sure if I can continue with office laptop for the training. So I decided to use my personal system, which is a Mac OS. So what will happen is for the setup part of this class, the JDK, hopefully you can go home and set it up, but if you can't do that, we are going to do that practically in class tomorrow. The setting up of Java home. Setting up IntelliJ is very easy. We can do that now. And Maven for project management is also very easy. But I think some people might find it difficult setting up JDK, creating the Java home, and all of that. It's quite simple too, though, if you just check online. It's very easy. So these are the prerequisites. You can put down your hands now. I think I know the class better now. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we have Java 17, IntelliJ, and Maven for project management. So we'll talk about this tomorrow because we still need to continue with the introduction to this class. All right, tomorrow will be our practical class. So maybe we should be doing it this way every week. We'll do the Saturday for the little bit theoretical. Then on the next, that's Sunday, we'll do the answer. All right, so we'll be using that Windows for the answer. We'll be using this Mac for presentation since we have more people using Windows. All right, great. Let's move on. So this is how dependency, you write dependency in your pom.xml usually when you are trying to why did this thing move? Usually when you are trying to add a dependency called Selenium Java, and you are trying to, when we get there, you will understand what this means. So it means that when you had a dependency Selenium Java, you add its own version to it. And that is how we always manage our projects, automation framework project, right? This is how we manage it. So we call it Maven for project management. Okay, let's move on. We also have Java Basics. So Java Basics, we have talked about Selenium. No, we have talked about test automation generally, and then we have talked about Selenium. Now this is Java Basics, where you see variables, data type, operator, there are a lot of things to check here. But let's start from here. Variables. I'm trying as much as possible to make sure we don't jump anything and we understand these basics. These are all basics. So this is a basic in Java. Understanding of operators, as you can see, there's the addition, there's the subtraction, the multiplication, and what? The division. We also have the relational operators, equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than. The logical operators and or, right and not. Then we have for data type, the primitive data type and the non-primitive, right? Talking about the integer, the boolean, the double, the char, this we will also see tomorrow. We have variables, variable containers to store data, data type variable, blah, blah, blah. The concept of variable. So when you say you are assigning a value to a variable age, so this is a data type integer and a variable age is being assigned the value 25. So we say this is what? Variable initialization. We are initializing age to what? To 25. We also have string name equals to what? A string inside of what? A double quotation. This is how you know a string. And then we have the print statement that has the concatenation along with a string and then the value of a variable and then another string. Okay, so these are basic concepts that we will come across every day as you write Java language in your automation. You will see print statements all of the time. You will see strings. You will see variables. You see logical operators, relational operators, arithmetic operators, and come across data types and variables. So we are still in introduction. Let's continue. We have Java control statements, the if else, the loops. So for conditional statements, we have the if else, the else if, the switch. We have loops, the for loop, the while loop, the do while, and then I have an example here for for loop. This simply means that an integer I is starting from what? From 1. That is, this is the initial value assigned to 1 in the memory of the system. Okay, so we have 1 space 1, and then we are having a condition. This is the condition saying that I is less than or equals to 5. If this value is true, right, then increment by what? 1. This is an incremental plus plus, that is the initial value added to 1 means the plus plus. Okay, so when you say your integer is starting from 1 and then you had and then you check the condition. If 1 is less than 5, which is true, then add 1 to 1, which makes it what? 2. Then you check is 2 less than 5? Yes, true. Add 1 to 2, which is 3. Is 3 less than 5? True. Add 1 to 3, which is 4. Is 4 less than 5? True. Add 1 to 4, which is true. Now the condition is saying for every value that is what? Less than or equals to 5. It means that it actually stops on what? On 5. All right. So do what? Print count, which is here is like a string, right? And add the what? The values for what? For I. Okay. For this condition, for this for loop. So this is what we call looping. For loop. So you need to understand looping, yeah, as a basics in for Java programming for this class. Okay, we have Java methods and functions. So we understand how to create functions, how to create in JavaScript, you're always mentioning function, 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 function. In Java, we're always calling it method, 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 method. Anyway, sometimes you mix both together. But the definition of a method is that it is a block of code that performs a specific task. All right. So far it is a block, and there are codes inside of it, just like what you see here. Here is a method, what? Int add. So this is a method. It's a block of why? Because you have the opening parenthesis and then the close parenthesis, and within it is what? A block of code that is saying return a what? A plus B. This is an expression. So return this expression is a code within this method. So that is how you will come across things like this all of the time, and you will need to write methods and methods and methods. Okay. So we have type of methods, static, can be called without creating an object. Instance require creating an object to call, with or without parameters. Method, the parameter takes input. Method without parameters that does not take input, and a lot of things. So when we get there, we'll cross the bridge. So we have an example is saying, write a method, right? So this method here is a void method, okay? Void static method, and the method name is greet, okay? The method name is greet, and then we have a print statement saying welcome to automation testing. Welcome to automation testing. So I greet all of you now. Welcome to automation testing. So in this automation class, you will be intentional about your learning, what we like call it, personal learning, reviewing everything you learn in class, making sure that there is not so much gap between what you are taught in class and what you have personally learned yourself. So please make sure about that. I can see that someone needs to be admitted. All right, let's go on. Okay, so we have some hands-on. We have some hands-on activity. Write around a simple Java program in IntelliJ. I don't even know why I added Eclipse to this. In this class, we are not using Eclipse, so don't say because you are looking at Eclipse right now. Yeah, we are not using Eclipse. We are using IntelliJ. So write around a simple Java program in IntelliJ. So we'll work on print numbers 1 to 10 using a for loop, a program that prints hello world, the common hello world. Then we'll practice loop and conditional statement. We have an example, print numbers 1 to 10 using a for loop. Then write a program to check if a number is positive or negative. So we have all of this to check. Okay, quick recap and takeaway. Testing is critical in building reliable software. Automation boosts efficiency, saves time and cost. Java is the backbone for Selenium automation. Mastering Java basics is your launch pad for advanced framework. We will say that again so that this sinks in. as you continue your journey. Number one, testing. You are not going to stop testing because you're trying to write some bunch of codes. Testing is critical in building reliable software. Automation boosts efficiency, saves time and cost. Java is the backbone for Selenium automation. And the last one, mastering Java basics is your launch pad for advanced. If I were you, I'm going to pin all of this somewhere in my head because it's like um, it's like a checklist for you as you move on in this class. Testing is critical, automation boosts this. So all of these things are what are your takeaway for this first class. All right, great. Awesome. So we are actually done here theoretically presenting the introduction of this class. So we would have just continued, like go on to, let me stop presenting this. Go on to talk about installing your Java and doing every other thing. But with the statistics I've taken in this class right now, we'll be doing that with a Windows application system.